In this tutorial, we will go over sending a Google form to students, or to anyone for that matter, and managing responses. So to send the Google form, you have to press the send button, and you can deliver this to anyone you'd like to take it. Parents, students, really, you can keep it as restricted as you want or as public as you want. So the first way you can send it is through email. Type in email addresses. You can either include the form in the email. I'm sure you've gotten emails like that before where the form is in the email. Or if you uncheck that, it will just be a link that you'll click, and then it'll open up a new window and you take the form that way. You can give it through Facebook, through Twitter. The most common way is this way, though, just the link. You can shorten the link, copy it. I usually do this. I post it right onto Google Classroom. There is an option on Google Classroom where you can do the form right from Google Classroom, but I like doing it this way better. You can give it through Google Classroom with this link, through email. You can put it on a website, on a board, anywhere. And then, of course, this is an embed code if you wanted to embed it into a website. And once you send it, let's say we copy this link. Show you what it looks like. We're on a blank page. We paste the link. And if you have it filled out where students can only submit one response, this is what it looks like. Now, if you want to see what it looks like in real time, you can just press this preview button. And go to settings, uncheck limit to one response, try it again to get around that. And there it is. So speaking of responses, let's talk about the responses. Go to this tab where it says responses. Right now it says 162 people have taken this. The first thing that it shows you is the summary. Insights gives you the average people got on this. Now this is for a quiz setting, which we're going to go over in a second. If you have it, the quiz set tells you frequently missed questions. And it has a breakdown of every question, how many people got it right, and the other percentages of wrong answers. Now, if you do not have the form set to a quiz, the breakdowns will be a little bit different. I'll show you that right now. This is what the summary might look like if it's not set to a quiz. It just gives you the percentages and graphs, bar graphs, pie graphs of different answers that people gave. So it really is a good visual depiction. But the best way to look at your responses is click Create Spreadsheet. You should always, always do that. Create a new spreadsheet. Your Google form is always attached to a Google Sheet with the same name. And they're always linked. Okay? Click Form. Edit Form, Send Form, go to Live Form. Show Summary, and then Unlink Form. Each question that you wrote is a different column. And each answer, each person, I should say, that answered it, fills here. Let me show you a real one. Now, this is an example of an actual spreadsheet that was connected to a form. These are all of the questions. This is every person that submitted a form and their answers. Their names were in columns B and C, but I hid that for the purposes of this tutorial. Another thing you can do is stop accepting responses if you don't want the students or anyone to submit any more answers for one reason or another. Another thing you can do is if you click this option right here while you're in the responses tab, you can unlink the form, but you can download all the responses to a CSV file. You can also delete all the responses, get email notifications for new responses. That's also a really good option. And remember, the spreadsheet with all the answers to your form questions is in that same folder right next to your form. There's the form, there's the spreadsheet. Now, if you did want to give this form as a quiz, what you would do is up here on options, you go to quizzes and you'd say make this a quiz. You have a few options, not many. Do you want to release the grade immediately after submission? In other words, the student gets their grade the minute they hit submit. Usually I leave it on that. Or you could do it later after a manual review. So I usually leave it on that. These are important. Do you want the students to see the missed questions? Identify which questions were answered incorrectly. I usually leave that on. It's good for formative assessment and summative. If you leave this checked, it shows the correct answer for each question. I think it's also helpful in certain situations. And this shows the total point values received for each question. So we're going to leave all three of them checked. If you're giving this quiz with Chromebooks in your classroom and you turn on locked mode, I use this all the time in my classroom. It prevents students from navigating away from the Google Form window. And they're locked into the Google Form and they can't leave it. If they do leave it, you get an email. So this is an excellent tool to use if you're doing it in classroom and you don't want it to be open book. So the minute you make it a quiz, you hit save, and then all of a sudden, every time you click into a question, this appears: answer key. Click answer key. You give it a number of points, and you pick the correct answer or correct answers. Press done. You can even add answer feedback. Maybe an explanation of why it's the correct answer or why one answer might be wrong. You have to do that for each question. You click the question, you click answer key. You can add answer feedback, even a video or a link to a website for correct or incorrect answers. But most importantly, you pick which answer is the correct answer. And if you don't want it graded, put 0 points so it's ungraded. So like you wouldn't grade this one. What period are you in? Okay. But you may want to grade, a different one. As a shortcut, if you want all of the points to be the same amount of points, go to preferences and make the default points 1. And you could also make the default all questions required. Now, what does that look like on the back end? When you have all of these people submitting answers in the quiz form, it looks like this. These are all of the questions. If you want to read the entire question, you can put on text wrapping. And at the end of this, these are all the questions, gives you a score. It automatically gives you a score on this spreadsheet. So Johnny got a 35 out of 38. So did this person. Susan got a 32. Bill got a 26. I'll give you a little bit of a shortcut. If you want to turn this into a percentage grade, use the formula equals this cell divided by the number of points it was worth, 38, times 100. So I'll show you again. Say that it was worth 38. Let's say there were 38 questions. They were each 1 point. Divided by 38 times 100. And then just drag it down. It gives you a percentage. And if you want to format that, you go to Format, Number. Let's say you only want no decimals. There you go. So hopefully you learned how to make a quiz, how to send the form to the students, and how to manage your responses.